Hello and welcome back to another episode of TWIG. This week the holiday event came out in Galaxite. It's pretty cool. Also, there's been a pretty interesting update to fill the gaps as well. Let's get into the video. And as always, I'll start off the video by putting the change logs for this week's update on the screen now, so you can pause the video and read them if you want. And the items in the shop this week are the rare Very Confused Taunt, the rare Lightning Pixel Art, the epic red headset core, the rare foxtail avatar, the epic fabric bunny avatar, and the legendary mermaid avatar. So I'm gonna start off by talking about some of the changes to fill the gaps, because I think it's pretty cool, some of the changes, and they make fill the gaps a much better game to just play when you're sort of bored, you've got nothing else to do. It's just like, oh yeah, I'll play some fill the gaps, because before I think it was a bit boring, because after you finished a build, you just sit there for a bit for everyone else in the game to finish it. So that it was a bit boring, but now Galaxite have changed it. There's like a bonus build that come up after you've finished your build. Bonus builds come up, and basically it just gives you something to do after you finish your first build, and you'll also get extra XP for each block you fill in of the extra build. So I think it's really cool. It makes Fill the Gaps a much better game, and I think it's great how it gives extra XP for each block you place correctly of the bonus build, because Fill the Gaps was one of them games where you just wouldn't really get much XP. It was a bit like Prop Hunt, and last week the XP on Prop Hunt was changed, so now you get more. Now it's also been done Fill the Gaps, but it's also making the game much more fun to play, just because you're not waiting around too much, and I think that is really cool. That's not the only change in Fill the Gaps. There's also been a new map added. It's called Winter, and it's basically, I would say it's sort of a Christmas map, because it does feel sort of Christmassy with some of the things, there's a Santa build and stuff. Um, but yeah, it's also got some general winter things. But yeah, I think the map's really cool. I mean, I like most of the Fill the Gaps maps, and a lot of the builds. They're great. And I like the little houses around the side of the winter map. It feels very atmospheric. Yeah. So now I'm gonna quickly talk about a sort of general change in every game, which I think is pretty important. That is that at the start of the game, before the game starts, other players are hidden, so you can't see them. And I think that's especially important in games like Duo or Quads Core Wars, because you all start in the exact same spot. So before, you just couldn't see anything. It was just inside each other, so you could just see the inside of each other's heads. But so you had to sort of go into third person mode to look around. But now, since the other players are hidden, you can just look around freely. You can see everything, and I think that's a really important change that is really good. So now it's time to talk about probably the main thing that happened this week in Galaxite, and that is the holiday event. The hub's now all festive. There's a Santa hat on the Galaxite logo at the front. There's a reindeer behind it in the sky. There's reindeer and sleighs flying about. There's red and green wool everywhere with leaves. And yeah, it's basically just all festive. And my favorite bit is you can get on the little wall at the back. You couldn't do that before. And also there's bells and stuff. Everyone loves the bells. There's loads of people just hitting the bell over and over again, seeing who can hit the bell the fastest. People want global bell leaderboards to see who's clicked the bells the most, and want XP from hitting the bells. I don't think that's gonna happen, but still, everyone loves just hitting the bells. The whole hub, it's just all snowy, and there's candy canes everywhere. The Aztec part of the map, it's now been replaced with the sort of Christmas area, with a Christmas tree that you can actually get to the top of. A lot of people think there should be a reward for getting to the top. But yeah, and there's a little house at the back, and that's basically it. But yeah, the the hub is just really cool, like the festive hub. Um, yeah, it really makes you feel Christmassy. So yeah, and also the water in the cave underneath the map has been replaced with ice, so it's pretty fun just ice skating about. So yeah, I just thought I should mention it because it is pretty fun. And also, there's now a snowman in the little cage. But the Festive Hub isn't the only thing that's happened with the holiday event because there's also been a sort of like daily login reward thing. It's sort of like a bit like an advent calendar. I think it's probably going to go up to like the 25th of December because like yeah, for each day of December so far, there's been a different thing you'll get for logging in on that day. So yeah, on the 1st of December, if you logged in, you would have got the Ho 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 taunt for prop hunt, and then on day 2, the ornament core, which is like a little bauble, and then on day 3, it was the snowflake pixel art for fill the gaps, and then on day 4, it was a free level up. So basically, your battle pass would just go up an extra level for logging in on that day. And then finally, so far on day 5, which is today, as of this video coming out, so yeah, that is the Water Witch gravestone. I think this is probably the coolest item so far, because it's sort of a bit like the unreleased witch skin I've talked about before. Um, but yeah, it's I guess it's a little insight into the future, maybe what like that witch skin will be called, the water witch. Maybe that avatar like won't even come out at all. But yeah, just a little insight into the future, I guess. But yeah, that's not the only insight into the future that we've had this week, because also Galaxite have said they're gonna start like have some more time to start working on their new game. Because yeah, they've said in the changelogs that the quality of life updates have sort of ended. So yeah, they're going to be continuing to work on the next new mini game. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. Also in the changelogs next to that, they've put like a little race car emoji. I don't know if that means it's going to be something to do with race cars. I don't know. Maybe we're going to have like a spaceship racing thing. I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, just some thoughts. It's probably got nothing to do with it, but yeah, I don't know. And there's also been a pretty big prop hunt update this week. So yeah, I would say the main part of that is that now like every single hider who's found will become a seeker, because like you're no longer sent as to a spectator. Because before, the last few people that were found, I'm pretty sure, would just become like a spectator, and only the first few would become seekers to like balance it. But yeah, now everyone becomes a seeker. I guess apart from the very last hider to be found, because then the game ends. But yeah, but because of that, Galaxite have removed XP from winning, because it's much more likely to win. I guess if all of the hiders are found, basically just everyone wins apart from the very last hider. So yeah. So yeah, it's much more likely to win. So XP for winning has now been removed for prop hunt. But to make up for it, XP's been added in other places, like for other features. So yeah, there's like extra XP added for like hiding, because hiding can like now give up to 300 XP if you hide for the entire game up to the very end. And also, if you find a hider as a seeker, the XP for that will be doubled. So yeah, now if you're like one of the original seekers and you find every single hider, you'll get 400 XP. So yeah. So there's also been changes in Chronos and Core Wars, but it's mainly just bug fixes. But yeah, there is one thing I will mention in Core Wars, and that is that the drill entity hitboxes, they've now been made smaller, so players can't hide inside of it. Because the reason I mention it is because before, like sometimes on the tiny castle map, on some of the like diamond islands, Sometimes if you're like fighting someone like right on the island, right next to the like generator, the drill, it would just like be impossible to hit each other. It would be like a really strange fight. But yeah, that shouldn't happen anymore because the hitboxes have been made smaller for the drills. So the last thing I'm going to talk about in this episode of Twig is the vault. This is what it looks like at the moment. So yeah, it's been made festive. It's got like a little Christmas wreath around it with a little bell at the top. But yeah, that's not the main thing I'm going to talk about. It's the lights, because the lights are basically just completely different to like the pattern of before. I'm pretty sure like the lights have basically just been randomized. That doesn't seem like there's any pattern to it, especially when you look at like what it's done in the past. Normally there's a bit of a pattern with like either lights counting up or counting down. But yeah, this season the lights have been a bit random, but especially this week, it's basically just like the entire thing has just been randomized. But yeah, and there's not really much I can say or talk about because I don't know what's going on. It's basically just random. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think is happening with the vault, because I have no idea. So yeah. So yeah, that's it for this episode of Twig. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, and also if you're not already, please subscribe. Like this week I hit 200 subscribers, which is like amazing. Like thank you so much. But yeah, bye.